That's fundamentally wrong. It's much easier to defend against strikes than it is to defend against throws. And it's much more difficult to learn throws than it is to learn punches. Now look at it. Some pro boxers started boxing at 18, 19, 20 years old. Nobody in the history of the world starts wrestling or judo at 18 and becomes a professional or a world champion at it. It's impossible, it's unheard of, because it's so much more difficult. And also the defense, only strategically, it's much easier to defend against strikes than against throws. Because strikes only work in a very limited range. So it's possible to completely suffocate any attempt to strike by coming closer. And closing distance is a lot easier than gaining distance, because walking forward is a lot faster than walking backwards. So a boxer or a striker needs to maintain a very specific distance within a couple inches, where he is not too far away to hit you, but not too close to hit you either, and not too close to get grabbed by a judoka or wrestler. And that is much more difficult to uphold, which is also why we see most high-level MMA fighters having a base in wrestling. Even the ones that choose to use a lot of striking, because they're late adopters. It's another example. It's possible to be a wrestler first and then late in life start boxing and become an exceptional striker. And because you have a base in wrestling or judo, you're near impossible to be taken down. And then people come and call those people strikers. But don't forget, they can only strike the way they do because they are wrestlers. But again, it's unheard of and probably impossible to be a striker at first and then a late adopter of very high level wrestling or grappling, because it's much more difficult to grapple and much more difficult to defend against grappling. Again, another reason which might be easy to understand is, if you are able to use your throws with very much strength, then it becomes near impossible to defend. But the defense against strikes is very similar, unrelated to how hard he would hit you if he would hit you. So there's just so many reasons. Striking is a lot easier to defend. It's very difficult. And nobody defends accidentally against a judo throw. You don't defend yourself accidentally. You get thrown if you don't know what to do.